Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Game Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
Hey, what's up, world? How are you doing on this fine Wednesday?
And John.
What's up, America?
Yeah.
The heck with the rest of the world.
You're asking that, and you're like, well,
just kidding.
50% are really pissed off this morning, and they're like, I just need this to get away. And the other 50% are like, yeah, we did it!
To whoever lost, we're here for you.
Yeah,
listen
it's
to
not
us.
the end of the world.
Listen to us. We'll distract you.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, but
who knows?
As we record and as you hear this, Election Day has happened. So to America, I personally hope that if you're of age and you realize the importance and how cool it is to vote, that you did so, because not everybody gets to do what you were possibly able to do.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
On social media for the past month or so, past couple of weeks, it's really revved up and got intense. The whole go out and vote, go out the vote, go out the vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's a message that really, truly irritates me. I know this is shocking for the two of you.
Shocker.
Because if you think the earth is flat, should you go vote? If you don't know who the vice president is in any given time, should you go vote? If you don't know the issues or even the cliff notes of the issues, should you go vote? Sometimes not voting is a civic duty. And I'll just leave it there.
I don't know if you just backhanded slapped me or whatever you just did.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I personally don't agree with that, but that's just me.
But we're not getting into all that because that ain't what we do. Like John said, like if you don't know what's going on, what are you doing?
It's like,
but like I said, if you're at a point where you understand the importance and you are in the know a little bit and you did it, yeah, that's what this great country is kind of made for.
Yeah. I don't ever say who to vote for. I don't care who you do vote for and what the reasons are behind your vote. Some people just they do it for the craziest reasons, and I've heard them before. But personally, I'm one of those people. Look, if you have the right to go do it, and you have any inclination that it's important, then you should go do it. The worst it happens is that you sit there for an hour or two and you wait in line. That's fine by me.
I support the right for anybody to do things they should not do. This is America.
Yeah.
Hey,
but
hashtag America.
But if you're stupid, don't vote.
Actually,
just don't.
Actually, Childish Gambino said this,
and America will thank you.
And
America
then
will thank you.
And then we all dropped our chins
to England, and everybody else who's like, they voted yesterday. Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did.
What is democracy?
What is that?
I like the way they handle elections more. Like their whole entire thing is that.
How do you know this?
Because I saw it somewhere a couple of years ago. Because I watch things.
He's English.
You didn't know that? No, that is not the reason I know.
His family came out of the English Channel.
It might have been.
It might have been
English. It might have been my British aunt who told me this. But basically, like they only campaign for like an 11-week cycle. Like that's it. So. Sure. And like it's all regulated as far as like there's a set amount of funds that can be spent. There's none of this private, like just consistently flooding it in. So it's like, they're like, yeah, for 11 weeks, it gets really heated and we do this. And then we kind of just go back to life and do our things and then understand that, hey, yeah, whenever the time is necessary again, we'll get hit by another wave of it and we do it. And I'm like, that seems like a better idea of how to approach this as opposed to like, a 2-year period where it's like your life is either ending or your life is like, really great right now. And then just consistently trying to, convince people that's the way it should be.
But isn't it like that because there was a king and a queen?
Yeah.
And
parliament.
And also because free speech is limited over there.
Right.
Ooh, dang. Take that.
Yeah, they're like, so you get 11 weeks to kind of say what you want.
Yeah.
And when in America, I can start running for president yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
John for president.
Actually, there are.
Because corporations are people, Chris.
There are actually, I think there are 2 that I know of that have announced exploratory committees, like 2 very far outside.
Like Dora?
What you do when you run for president is you announce an exploratory committee to run for president. Basically, you're saying, I'm going to get funding to put people out there to say, I cannot remember who they are. They were like representatives.
Does the DNA test count as an exploratory committee?
That's funny.
But
that's funny.
Yeah.
See, John has funniness in him when he wants to.
the way it will go though is
Thanks,
we'll
man.
get about like what we'll get
And you're
about
adorable.
a 30-day reprieve, and then I'd say
and then it'll start again.
yeah, about February. February is really when we'll see everyone
Yeah.
major start to announce.
Absolutely.
That's
You
usually
think?
the way it goes. Yeah, because think about it. Like the first
I don't
primary,
want to.
the first primary debates most likely for Democrats will be fall of next year, because the primaries will then be the following winter.
Winter's
So-
coming.
It'll be interesting to see the tweets if Republicans lose the House.
It'll be, I think regardless, it'll be interesting to see the tweets. I told
The
you.
election was rigged. I
I
saw
told you.
more people
Yeah.
at the polls, and I can tell you I know crowds.
He did not
I
even
know how
go.
many
He did
people
not
in
go
the
to the
crowds.
polls. He absentee voted today.
Good for him.
Where I voted, it was in a junior high school gym,
Dun dun dun.
Shocking.
with two
Are we going to have this on the whole time?
two
I will
ballots.
be checking in, especially
Or
at
not two
7.
ballots, but two polls, or what do they call where you put your ballot?
Yeah.
in?
See, this is the fun part.
It's
to-
cool. You just
sorry.
do that, Chris. Just,
The
you know
ballot
what?
box?
I'll go over here, Chris. And
It's
you
a-
just do what you do, Chris. Let us know when you're done, Chris. I'll just go here.
Okay, so Sean's over there. I was going to say, listeners, the fun part for you is you know what's happened. We're sitting here, though. We always record Tuesday night, and I wasn't even thinking about this last week that it was going on. Sean was like at 3 today. He was like, by the way, I got to vote. And I was like, that's not good because we know how bad Alabama voting times are compared to us.
And it's bad for me because either I go very early before
Yeah.
my work schedule, or
Is that a district?
that's a district.
Yeah.
Or I had to go like after work. But like you say, my particular place where you vote was notorious in 2016, 2014.
Why?
And the runoff for, I don't know. I don't know if they've got it together. Like I said, they got two places after you do your ballot that you put in. That's it. But they have a table where 70,000 people can.
How do you guys vote in Alabama? Do you walk up, say who you're for, and they just mark it with a piece of chalk?
Yeah,
No,
man.
they shoot an arrow at like a side of a tree.
No, they pull a what do they call it? A skeet? What is it with the
Pull.
gun? Yeah,
Pull.
pull. And either
Whenever
a red one or a blue one comes out.
Then they go count how many shattered pieces.
And
there
if
are.
if you miss it, your vote doesn't count.
Yeah, it's completely
funny.
whitewashed. It's done.
Yeah. When I hear the horror stories from our friends across the river of like, especially 2016, like where people told me, yeah, I stood in line for 3 hours, and I was like, I took about 14 minutes, you know, and I was there right at the opening this morning because that's just, I do it and then I go in.
Yeah, you were mad because you wanted some Chick-fil-A this morning.
I did want some Chick-fil-A. And these
Your
people,
little setup is awesome because you're not far from your workhouse. You have a Chick-fil-A kind of close, and where you vote is really close too. So it's a little bing bang bang thing for he could do, you know. But
hey, you know, we've waited 8 minutes to do this, but I
happened?
feel like we have to do it.
what?
Roll Tide!
This is going to be bad.
Georgia won too, John. A big game.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
no.
God.
I'm talking about the SEC championship. It's not going to be good
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
because
Did you watch some
watch some.
of Saturday
Football
night?
in general.
Did I watch
On the
Alabama
collegiate.
game?
That's a good
I watched
question.
a little bit of it,
Yeah.
but I was hoping LSU would perform a miracle because I'm sure they'd rather play LSU than Alabama. Who would want to play Alabama? But the thing is, if Georgia wins the SEC title against Alabama, hypothetical, it's not going to happen. Will they still let Alabama play in the championship playoffs?
Depends the setup.
I've heard that the committee this year, even though on record they're saying things like strength of schedule matters and this and this, the way they're ranking people is based on the eye test.
Yeah.
Which is how good do you really look and how are you beating these people? That's why in a recent poll, the most recent one, Washington State was like 8 or 9 and their strength of schedule is not that good, but
No.
they've really manhandled people. And I've heard that even if Alabama were to lose, like say the SEC championship game, people in that room on that committee look at them as far and above
Yeah.
the best team.
They proved it last
So,
year.
It is what it is. I'm not necessarily for it, but I understand the way of thinking either way because
They let them in last year, but I'm talking about losing an SEC title.
Yeah,
Sure.
They
let 'em in
didn't
again.
lose a title. They just
Again,
got knocked out.
It depends what the setup is. Like, that's what the big thing was last year. It was like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to put a 2-loss Ohio State team that lost by 30 to Iowa in over a team
or even
that
Auburn.
lost on the road?
Yeah.
Right? Like in Alabama did to a solid Auburn team at the time.
Well, it was a 2-loss Auburn team that was going into the championship game.
Yes.
That they were saying they might let in if they beat Georgia too, because they would have beat Georgia twice. They beat
Exactly.
Alabama. They had 2 losses. That was a whole mess that's like gone this year.
So if you're going in this year, and again, it's like, let's go ahead and say that Notre Dame wins out, right? If Oklahoma loses the Big 12 championship and Clemson, they also win out, the question then becomes, okay, if Michigan wins, you're putting them in. You're going to tell me that you're going to put in either West Virginia or Oklahoma team that each have bad losses on their resume. Yeah. Versus an Alabama team, like let's say they go and they play Georgia. And again, it's just
close.
like the national championship where they go to overtime and this time Georgia pulls it out. You're saying that,
What?
You're saying that you're going to take that over a
You're
team.
in my head.
Okay.
I heard it before you said it.
You're saying you're going to take that over a team that, like, for instance, LSU, who beat Georgia, then turns around and gets dominated the way they did by Alabama. You're saying you're not going to put that team that's not one of the best 4 teams in the nation. It's a very hard argument.
A lot of talking heads say that thing where this team beat that team, but then that team beat this team.
Yeah.
The talking pundits of the sports world always say that kind of thing. But the people that vote in those rooms,
like The Rock,
they look at it differently, I think, but we'll see.
Rock's
I'm just going to watch the game with earplugs.
I don't want to watch the game. I don't want to
I'll watch it, but I don't want to hear the murder. I just want to see the murder.
The weird part for me Saturday was before the game, I was at the bar with Jeff. We call it the saloon now because we've been playing Red Dead. That's the old saloon. But
see, last week
there were Georgia fans watching the Kentucky game, and the way they were reacting, you would think they were watching the national championship, and it was quite funny to watch.
Well, I mean,
they're like kids.
I can understand that because like kids is the key word here. You got freshman and sophomore kids on that team.
That's so we. To me,
okay.
Put it this way.
But if I'm Kirby Smart next for the SEC championship, I'm going to tell my players, sweep the leg.
Let me
sweep the leg.
Let me rephrase this.
You're going to risk somebody getting pulled out of the game that you need.
As long as Tua gets taken out.
I think Jalen will actually come in and ball out. I really
He's
do.
in a boot right now.
Jalen?
Yeah.
But by December he'll be fine when we see him in Mercedes.
They were handling Jalen very well during the championship game until he got pulled.
That is true.
Totally different Jalen.
But my point.
He's not Tua, but he's a different Jalen now.
John, my point was more so to the line of like, it's Kentucky. You should win this game.
Yeah.
If they were acting like this weekend they're playing Auburn and they're going crazy, I totally get that. That's a rival game, right? That's a huge rival.
Here's the deal too.
Or like when they played Florida.
They hyped up LSU so much.
Yeah.
I didn't see them as team number 3 in the country. I literally didn't.
They needed it. They had to be, though.
You beat Georgia, you get it.
You beat Georgia. You beat Auburn.
Dude, they beat a Miami
Florida.
team. I understand it. But I'm telling you, Clemson, Michigan, I think everybody's writing them off. Clemson is no joke.
No, Clemson looks legit right
when
now.
the quarterback leaves and now the other quarterback is the guy, they go on a bye week. They have looked amazing since their bye week.
They had like points
77 on Louisville.
They had like a 2-week period where when Kelly Bryant left, where it was like they were figuring things out.
It was hit or miss.
And then they came back from that bye, and it's kind of like it reminds me when they won the championship.
Yeah.
Like they struggled early, and then all of a sudden they just turned it on.
It's going to be
right
from here on out. It's going to be fun. November and December is where all the magic and fun happens. I actually can't wait.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
I'm going to be busy a lot of the weekends, and that actually helps my stress levels.
What about this weekend?
I'm not busy this weekend.
Ooh, watch Mississippi State.
Nope.
Why don't you come?
I got things to do.
Okay, I'll remember that.
You're going to somebody's house to watch it anyway.
Are we recording?
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if you know this. Sure. We're in the championship game, and I do a thing whenever we're in the championship game.
But that's not the championship
What's the
game.
thing?
I go to it.
He does do the thing.
Yeah.
You always go to it?
He has been.
I have every time Alabama's been in the championship. I've gone since
The last
One
two?
Missouri.
How have you managed that?
The 2 Florida ones in Missouri have won.
He went and won without me.
How?
You
How do you get a
buy
hold of
tickets
those?
in the upper deck.
Yeah.
They're very affordable.
Yeah, I'm sure it
My
won't be the
bad,
case.
dude.
I probably won't
Sorry.
be able to do it this year, I'm sure, because you Georgia fans will pay like $9 million to go see your team play. And I'm not going to do that.
Hey, I'm on the podcast, which is great because if your girl listens, she's going to hear you call me right now.
That's funny. We're top notch tonight. We're talking about politics and football. Everyone's loving this.
Hey, no problem. What we'll do is we're going to go on break in a minute and I'll call you back, Darren.
Are we going to go on break?
Are we? I don't know.
All right.
Getting to actual games. I fell through the map in Red Dead and it was hilarious.
Dude, I did too.
I was on my horse.
That glitchy piece of trash.
I was on my horse and riding, and all of a sudden he just went down and into this endless void. And then he came off the horse, and the horse was kicking, and I'm flailing my arms, and it just kept going for about 5 minutes. And I said, "Okay, I should turn this off."
Both games I'm playing right now are frustrating me with that.
What are you playing?
Red Dead and Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And Call of Duty will give you a blue screen of, hey,
Really?
all your data is corrupted. Have fun. Delete everything.
Damn.
You don't lose your rank.
Yeah, of course, because that's online.
Yeah, but there's something to do with if you're changing camo on your gun that you work hard to do, there's a loophole in the program, and it makes it.
Gotcha. It just makes it fall apart.
And I'm like, why can't things just be good?
Yeah,
This is what happens when things go all digital and all online, John.
I was wrapping up Odyssey over the weekend, and there was a certain section of the story where it was just constantly glitching
That
out.
game-
I had to restart it a couple times.
That
And
game
one chapter was doing it, but other than that, I haven't had any real problems. But
Yeah, I've
Did you like Odyssey?
I think I'll say this, like,
oh yeah,
coming back from, like, if you leave a game and just running in the background, you turn off your console and bring it back. The one thing I'll give a huge advance for PlayStation over Xbox, I think PlayStation handles that better, like just its system.
I wonder why.
And even with the one, it's probably just the way it's coded.
Good answer, Chris.
But there have been times where I come and I would turn on Assassin's Creed and I think everything's fine and working, and apparently the volume's come back on.
What
That's
is
funny.
happening?
Anderson Cooper is taking over. Or
That just scared
whoever.
me. Oh, it's the guy
There
that
we
looks
go.
like
I don't know why that went on, but hey, Hollingsworth is dominating Watson in Indiana. If we got any listeners, but
just domination.
yeah,
in
I've
Indiana.
had so many times with that game where I'm thinking everything's fine and it's running, and all of a sudden, like, I fall through the map, or like things just start going glitchy to hell, and then the game just crashes, and I have to restart. And I think that's primarily the reason why is just whatever the way Xbox handles a reboot where it's opening a running game. I think just depending on how long it's been since you've done it seems to be what causes more issues. But
yeah. There's this part of I was in this fort trying to take down a fort, and I can only go forward instead of side or backwards or anything like that. And I was down in a pit, and it took like I was like, I am not restarting this fort. So it took me forever to actually maneuver it out of the fort to get to the woman to end the mission. But I did it, and then I restarted it because it just wouldn't correct itself.
have you hit max?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Oh, you finished. How'd you like it? Did you finish just, okay, so I take it you got all the cultists.
Yes.
Did you do the, I guess the meta, whatever you want to call it, the like more of
Atlantis.
all that kind of stuff. And then you did the sibling stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
And how did you enjoy those?
Pound for pound, all of it. It's still a 10 for me.
Okay.
Look, everybody has these games, right?
Yeah.
In their library that they've played. This game, when you play it, you boot it up and it says, "Hello, Mr. Barron. What would you like to do today?" That's what that game says to me every time I play it. I'm still, and I like the fact that it doesn't end with credits. It just helps you continue, and it's like the game doesn't. When you have credits, there's like a mental thing where you're like, the game's over, and you don't want to. You're like,
Right.
it's over.
Yeah.
But with no credits, it's like it's not really over.
See, I ran into that with God of War.
Going.
Oh, yeah.
Did it not have credits either?
Oh, you didn't?
I guess it
Well,
didn't
no,
have credits.
It does have credits. Like, it has a little bit of credits.
as
and
you're
then
going back.
And then once you do the kind of slight tease epilogue thing afterwards, then it's like, okay, here's the real credits now.
And then I never can go back and go, all right, well, let's fire this back up and 100% it.
See, I had to go back to that though, because I was like, I'm going to kill those Valkyries. And there was like certain things you couldn't use or get in the game until you actually beat the main story.
Valkyries are so hard.
Yeah,
I've only beaten like 2 of them.
Medusa came pretty close to a Valkyrie.
I know I whooped up on that Minotaur. I haven't done
The other ones weren't really that.
Did you have to really think about what you were doing and couldn't just parry / parry?
Not with 3 of them, but the last one, the Medusa, she was crazy hard. Especially when she turned me into
Did you get to number 1 mercenary?
I didn't really go along that path. I think I'm in tier 2.
Those are nice perks that you get as you go, especially like when you're trying to upgrade your equipment when you hit 50 and it costs so much. It's nice to have those perks that lower the prices.
I'm just glad I have the season pass, because I'm so excited about the season pass. Plus I get remastered of Assassin's Creed 3.
I guess I get that too, don't I?
I think you do.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I guess the good thing is like that game for me is, it's on the shelf right now. It'll probably be on the shelf for a while.
Actually, it's right there.
But yeah, it's on it's on the metaphorical shelf. But the good thing is I know, because of how much they planned stuff, there will be a point here probably in December where I can just plug it back in and finish out the main story.
Well, good for you.
I was pretty close to the end. Like I had like maybe 5
good
cultists
for you, dude.
left.
Oh, you didn't do all the... Oh, I thought you'd finished it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm close to it. I mean, like, I feel like I'm right at the end. Like,
I straight up neglected my family over the weekend. It was just because I tried to do.
I neglected Penny, but that was because I was in the old west.
Well, I knew I was going to be off yesterday and today. I thought, okay, let me try to ram this through Assassin's Creed on Saturday and Sunday, so I can.
Gotcha.
Isn't it fun though when you do
else.
have time where you can be like, you know what? I do want to just sit here and play video games and do something like with a mission in mind to finish this or get to that. It's kind of fun when
you guys can't do that whenever you want.
And even when I try
to,
I got a 7-year-old that says, "Daddy, I want some ice cream."
What's
or,
that?
Daddy, I'm hungry.
When I got done with Odyssey, I was like, all right, who do I need to make it up to? Because you just feel like, I don't know. You just feel like you've just ignored everybody.
You go into see your wife and you look like Gus Chiggins from SNL with Will Ferrell. That's where he plays the old prospector. He's like, "Name's Gus Chiggins."
That's funny.
Yeah, that's what John looks like.
Hey, John, did you watch the Walking Dead?
I did.
Rick's final thing?
I did.
Yeah, I read about it.
Yeah.
Apparently it's not the final thing, huh?
Well, it is.
It is.
Yeah, but...
And now there's movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's a spoiler.
No, the movie thing ain't a spoiler.
Andrew's
I'm not saying who's this about. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying now there's movies.
I thought they handled it well. I think it was a compromise.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think it was smart on their part.
Yeah, because I'm sure...
I concur.
Andrew Lincoln's like, I've been doing this for 10 years.
9, but
and it's
difference.
like, I would rather not do this all the time. So how
his
about
family's in England.
How about you and A start paying me more, but only doing it when I have to make a movie every 2 to 3 years.
So you're spoiling the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Is he?
Is he? Yeah, it's everywhere.
You are. I just said movies, and you went straight into who the movie might be about. But also, I'm still watching Ozark for you guys that are wondering, Chris and John. It's really, really good.
It's in my list. Of course, I've been saying that for a year.
But it's good.
But I do want to see it.
Who do I know that started it? Oh, Darren just started it, and they liked it because the first episode grabbed you, like legit, and you're like, wow. And then it goes from there. Mm-hmm. Have you watched Daredevil 3 yet?
I have not. I have not watched any Daredevil.
Like none?
Not even
Yeah.
the first.
No.
Dude, I think we had this conversation.
We did, and it just all hit me. And then who are you?
I've only watched 2 of the Marvel series. And
he's going to say Iron Fist, and he's going to say
no,
something else.
No, I
Hack,
haven't.
Wilson-
Jessica Jones and
which is legit. Okay.
and Luke Cage.
Wilson Fisk.
Cage.
Wilson Fisk is the best Marvel villain ever. By far. He just is.
It's so crazy how friend of the show Ryan Leaf, aka Mike, looks like Wilson Fisk when he decides to
What's his name? Vincent.
Kind of trim, shave his head. He looks just like Wilson Fisk.
Vincent D'Onofrio? Is that it?
D'Onofrio.
It's like, yeah, I know it's an
D'Onofrio.
I know it was like some Italian name, but I sure as heck didn't know what it was.
Killmonger is a second, best villain, but that's only because all he had to do was kill Claw and walk into Wakanda. He didn't have to go through all those heists.
The best.
That's called a plot hole.
I mean, from what I gathered, freaking Mahershala Ali's character in Luke Cage was pretty dang good, but then that didn't last.
Oh yeah, that was disappointing.
Yeah, and then I also really, of course, I'm biased towards David Tennant, so the Man in Purple. I mean, he's a doctor. That will never change. That will always be the way. But I actually really like that. That's the one I really
do you guys
like.
think I could fit a fridge in the back of my Jeep?
Maybe.
How big? Like full fridge?
A double door
Like
fridge.
Ralph Region?
No.
I don't think so either,
I don't
right?
think
With
so.
the girth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of girth.
A lot of girth.
I'm going to say depends, maybe.
You guys ready to do this topic?
I think so.
You ready, Sean?
Yeah, I'm ready to sit back and hear old Johnny Bear
Yep.
talk about some.
Chris said he was going to check out.
Yeah, I'm just
You
checking
can't
out.
check out. You
I-
can't.
We
Check
all
out.
get one checkout card. I'm playing
No.
my checkout.
I stayed engaged for Red Dead.
Did you?
But why wouldn't you? It's just,
Yeah, that story.
Don't check out in the way that is rude, Chris.
That
Do
story
it
is.
very subtle and with
Subtle.
some class, okay?
By the way, I'm near the end of Red Dead, I believe, and
Acknowledge.
it's.
oh,
I'm gonna when I get done with that game, I'm going somewhere and I'm just gonna sit and stare in silence for a long time and ponder about morality in life. Be like, why is the world such a dark place, John? But yeah, let's get to something that's hopefully a little bit more optimistic than last week's episode.
Topic time.
The topic is some game. No, it's Starlink Battle for Atlas. It was funny. We got a message earlier today
It's a proper game, Chris.
on our Facebook page, and the guy, when I put up the image for this week's, he goes, "Oh man, you're not doing Hitman 2," and then he came back like 10 minutes later. Actually, it makes sense because Hitman 2 isn't out yet. So
Hey, is that coming out?
yeah, it comes out on the 13th, so it's Tuesday
Dude,
or next Tuesday.
I might be in.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
would
busy.
play that.
I
Isn't
do.
that Fallout week
Yeah, that's
as well
Fallout.
as Battlefield?
Wait, are we doing Fallout?
Fallout.
Are any of us doing Fallout?
Yeah, I have to play the Fallout.
Why? You're not hype on it.
You just don't understand.
He's a Fallout guy.
Yeah.
Todd Howard. It's
Yeah.
it's his thing. With me,
I get
it's
it.
a possibility. I would consider it, depending on.
You want to play on Xbox together?
Y'all are gonna make me. I can't play it on Xbox.
Why can't you? Because you trade in your Xbox?
No.
Lean forward.
I think, by the way, weren't you asking about Xbox One X deals?
I found the deal.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know
I'm
there's
all
some-
over it.
Okay.
Yeah, Coles. That's where it's
Good
at. We're gonna talk about that.
I messed up for once. I did not mute my phone because I had it unmuted to hear from you earlier.
Is that your new phone?
It doesn't really
No,
bother me.
No.
It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's a professional courtesy to show like we're not noobs.
Professional, us.
John. Yeah,
We're totally professional.
you're the only one laughing, John.
Yeah, that's because you guys are doing a bit.
He's very terrible at picking up on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's got that look. This is great. Talk, John.
Nope, I'm already
No,
done.
but
This
the,
game sucks. News.
but yes, the topic is once again, the topic is Starlink Battle for Atlas. This has actually been out a little bit for those unfamiliar. It is the
Couple of weeks, yeah.
It is the kind of toys to life game from Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft.
Yeah.
It's got the Star Foxes in it. I know that.
Only for Nintendo.
That would be great if you just showed up on every other console.
So yeah, this
John played it. We did not.
yeah.
He took off work. He literally took off work 2 days to play this. It's
No,
the only reason he took
That's
off.
not why. That's not why.
We're gonna talk about it later, but it's a possibility I pick it up on Black Friday.
I think I might. I think I might solidify it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's already saying it's a 10.
So like Chris says, this is, I guess, me and Sean at least remember very fondly the Toys to Life, genre. It started with Skylanders, and for a while, Skylanders was like the name of the game.
Skylanders was awesome.
Yeah, it was like a mini, what was it? A mini Diablo? Or no. Was it?
No, like a
WoW? Kind of like a baby WoW.
It reminded me, because it's Spyro, it felt like Spyro, but like giving you an excuse to bring in like a bunch of different types of characters except Spyro. Like you go around and you just do kind of smash 'em combat with different characters.
Yeah. And Activision was pretty smart with that Toys to Life thing. They didn't really break top 10, but it never was designed to break top 10. It was designed for long term and consistency. And I'm hoping going forward that that's kind of the strategy with this. But we all know what happened. I mean, Disney invaded the space.
Yeah.
Lego invaded the space. And to some degree, I mean, depending on how you classify amiibos, those kind of went into the space, and the only ones left standing now are the amiibos. And, you know, you can't really consider them necessarily Toys to Life.
Yeah. They're more just like, hey, you got this, and because of that, you'll get, you know, something in the game.
Yeah, it's like a little mini deal. It's like, a lot of times it's like, it's a microtransaction.
It's like a power pack.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I keep slamming my hand.
The idea was that, as you said, like these games didn't need to sell 10, 20 million, because you could, if you just got 2 million kids to buy this game.
Sure.
And they each are going to therefore talking with their friends and sharing the different toys that they're getting for it. You know, it's capitalism at work, right? You see something your friend has, you want it because it's so cool, and then you want to get it for the game. So instead of maybe, you only sell 2 million copies, you sell like 8 million toys or whatever because of this.
Yeah.
You know?
And and Ubisoft has taken that approach, and given you, and done something a little different. They've given you the freedom of choice when it comes to how you play this game. And
because you don't have to use them, right?
Yeah, you don't have to use them. So Starlink was announced back in, what year is this? 17.
This is 2018.
Back in 2017 at E3.
Yeah.
And at that time, nobody really was paying it a lot of attention. It was like, oh, neat. I saw it. It didn't really gravitate towards it. But in 2018, they showed it again. Mm-hmm. And apparently between showing it at the previous E3, Miyamoto approached Ubisoft and it was Nintendo's idea. This is how I read that. This is from my memory. I could be wrong, but it was Nintendo's idea to incorporate Star Fox into this game. And when they showed it at E3 last year with Star Fox in the game, everybody got interested.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, it didn't explode or anything, but it became something.
If you're like a Star Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you're a Star Fox fan, it's like, you had the one Star Fox game that came out on Wii U that everyone was kind of like, So you see this and you're like, finally you're seeing this serious publisher. We all know Ubisoft is going to put weight behind it. Yeah. And it looks like something that, even though it's not a full-fledged Star Fox game, is going to take all advantage of all the things that people love about Star Fox.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if you want to, I mean, you can put up some footage. Something very interesting, if you want to pull up later, is kind of the side-by-side comparisons for the powerful consoles versus the Switch version. I looked at that today. I was intrigued. But anyway, this is the new approach to
sorry.
No, it's okay. To Toys to Life. And it's very interesting, and it's a very novel approach. So
John brought us toys with him.
It looks really good. I mean,
it's a great. The toys look really high quality. They're not
does
flimsy.
It come off the thing?
So what I'm holding is the Star Fox R-Wing for the exclusive Switch edition. So what you've got at the base of it is a Joy-Con docking, which the game with the box came with all of this stuff. So basically, this looks like the docking part is here. Why don't I do this so you don't break it?
Don't break it, John.
It's not very flimsy though.
It looks like it's well constructed. How much have you seen? Like how much these run for?
The starter packs run for $75,
So that's the game and the toy?
It's the game and the kind of like
Peripherals, everything.
Okay.
Well, it's the game and the introductory toy. It basically has everything you need to complete the mission, to complete the game. So that's the R-Wing. But what you get out of the box is a controller, kind of in the shape of the Switch-Con dock, where you slide the Joy-Cons into the controllers. You can play it as a controller.
Gotcha.
So what this is on this you slide in the Joy-Cons, and it has a mount on top, and you can choose between the pilot you want to pilot, and I'm holding the Star Fox pilot.
That makes sense.
You slide it in.
So you could, in theory, even though you've got old Star Fox's ship here,
you can have anybody pilot that ship.
Okay.
So now I've got the pilot in, and so I'm going to put the R-Wing over the pilot, and it has like these data cards, chips at the bottom that lock in, that registers the fighter jet that you are using in the game.
Why do I feel like there's some kid who's going to break that?
Yeah, it's possible. And then you have the mounted guns on each side of the wings. So what it comes with is an ice cannon on the right, and then a fire cannon on the left. And the thing about this is, if you accidentally pop it off and turn it on the wrong side, it'll shoot the opposite direction.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can pop off these weapons
During gameplay?
During gameplay. It's pretty seamless. And exchange it with other stuff. You can pop off these wings and put different wings on the ship. Now, this is the starter pack, so with that comes, as any Toys to Life thing does, comes with more merchandise. You can purchase more ships, you can purchase more characters, or you can purchase more weapons. If you purchase a ship, it comes with its character and its weapons that go along with the ship. Or it can get a little bit more drilled down, and you can purchase individual cannons that will go on each one.
No.
And with those cannons come the character that is associated with those guns.
Now, John, as you said, you don't have to go and buy these things.
No, you do not. Thank you.
So if that's the case, so if I have a Switch, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to buy all these different things, I can still go play as Star Fox and do everything with Star Fox?
Yes. They have a digital deluxe version on the online store.
Is it also $70? Or?
It is, no, I think it's actually $59.99. So with that, you get the exclusive. What you're putting the extra money towards the physical toys.
Gotcha.
And, some people say that's highway robbery, whatever, but you're actually paying for manufacturing of these toys. Because if you're a kid, you're going to want, these things are designed to play with.
Yeah.
Outside of playing the game, and you can have your own adventures with your siblings and do all kinds of
cool
stuff.
You go to recess every day and everyone has their own ship and you have make-believe adventures, and then you go home and play the actual game and find you suck at it.
That's right.
Because you're a kid.
Pretty much. So this is, so that's pretty much how the game works as far as Toys to Life. They're completely optional. If you go into the Switch online store, you can find how they're compartmentalized. If you walk into a GameStop and you see physical packages, they're physically packaged like that in the digital store. You can buy the different ships. I think the ships run you $5.99 a piece. And it comes with the ship, the pilot, and the guns that are associated with that. Okay, so
you have to actually, so even if you don't buy
you can buy the full package. Every ship, everything from the digital store for $75. That gives you everything.
So is that on top of the cost of the game?
No, it's all included.
Oh, okay. So 75. If you buy the $75 version, folks, if you don't want to buy all these little ships, you get everything in the game. And how many total ships is that?
I think there's like five ships.
Okay. How many have you played with?
Just the R-Wing.
Yeah, okay.
But it functions in the starter pack. You get the main character of the game. That comes with the other packages for the other platforms.
So have you tried him?
And this R-Wing kind of functions as his ship too.
Okay.
So it kind of does that multiple format. They just put all that data into this ship so they can do the exclusive content.
The thing I'd be interested to know would be like, how much of a difference is there between the different ships? Is it truly just a cosmetic thing and in the way things are working, or is it like, kind of like, okay, this is a speed ship and it's really
Falcon versus an X-Wing.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
this is
Or a Y-wing.
speed
They're
and
different.
fast, but it has low defense and doesn't do a lot of damage.
They're different. They're very different. The ones that you get in all the starter packs across all the platforms is the main weapons that you get are the ice cannon and then a fire cannon. And that pretty much can get you through the entire game because a lot of the enemies have elemental defenses, ones you can freeze and then ones you can use fire to take them down. I don't really know a whole lot about the significant things about the other weapons. I just know that they're elementally, I guess we could use the word elemental. They're elementally different.
Gotcha.
They have different powers, different ranges, different skill sets.
So they have different perks.
Some ships are faster.
Things.
Some ships have better shields, things like that. So you can take all these ships and you can kind of customize the type of ship you want with all of this stuff. Now the package for the ship, the character with the guns that come with it, that's $24. So it's a steep price. You're looking at paying close to $500
if you want
want everything, as opposed to jumping in digitally and getting it for $75 to $100.
Now, is it okay? So, like in other iterations of these types of games, as far as the different characters, is it the same way where, like, so say you have all these ships, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on a mission and like I don't like the way it feels. Can I just pause the game and right then there switch out whatever it is I want, or is it like kind of like, well, you have to do it at this point or that point?
You can pop in and out anything, any character, any ship at any time.
Okay.
And it does, you don't even have to pause a game.
Does it feel seamless? Do the characters on the screen, if you're in a cutscene or if there's dialogue going on, do they pick right up and go, oh, new kid left and now this, that looks good.
Star Fox.
I haven't, unfortunately I didn't really have the money to, I really, really wanted to, and I'm going to, but I really didn't have the money to jump in and get another ship to sort of test that aspect.
Jeez.
From everything I've seen on the videos, when you pop off a ship or whatever, it kind of automatically pauses. You don't have to physically do it.
Gotcha.
So
it knows something is up.
It knows something's up, but when you finally lock everything in, it does this crazy Android robot-y thing with the ship. It's really cool. It's like you're locked in and now your gun's up, blazing, ready for battle. But
so with this, with the Switch version here, just looking at how this thing is set up, the Joy-Cons are going in there, right?
Yeah, it pretty much functions exactly like what comes in the Switch console.
Can you play this though with like this kind of setup with the actual using the real toys to life thing? I'm wondering, like with the Pro controller.
You cannot, and it's a complaint that I have because this setup, while it's completely functional, it's completely fine. I haven't had any real problems. There is the awkward vertical button to thumbstick as opposed to kind of a diagonal button to thumbstick. That's a better setup. I'm hoping at some point they create some sort of attachment for the Pro controller. That would be really great. Or because they have those attachments to the Xbox One controller and the PlayStation controller. You're using those controllers to play the games using the same technology.
Or at least the Pro controller does have a place where you can, scan an amiibo. I
Yeah,
wonder
it
if
does.
there's some sort of technology where they could kind of harness that.
That's probably how it
and
works.
You could scan the ship in that controller.
Yeah. But the game is a lot more in depth than just the toys. It's kind of a hybrid between not being too adulty, but also not being too kid friendly. It kind of goes in between, where each weapon, for example, each plane, each ship, each cannon, each wing has modifications.
Gotcha.
That work very much like an RPG in a game.
So you do things in the world and you get those modifications.
Yeah, you can get a certain number of modifications of the same type. If you get like 3 of them, you can combine those modifications and make them one scale above. Like there's like
Gotcha.
multiple tiers of modifications.
Very much right now as I'm looking at this stream, it looks a lot like old freaking
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. That's really at its core. And I know I've read this, like a lot of people have said it's
But looking
at
at
its
it,
core.
it's like, wow.
Yeah, at its core, it's like, it's No Man's Sky, but without all the like bogged down RPG parts that are going to be a major turnoff. Like you don't need to go out there and just grind and go collect minerals for hours upon hours, which is,
You can do that.
yeah, but you
can
don't,
do
I'm
that.
guessing you don't have to do
You
that.
don't have
right?
to. You can pretty much, if you want to, and if you got enough skill to do it,
Yeah.
you can blaze through the whole story. There is one cool element of the, in addition to the exclusivity of Star Fox, there's a mission, there's a side campaign, and it's pretty
Yeah, like-
lengthy. That's that's a Star Fox
Like you have to
campaign
do
where you're
Star
hunting
Fox.
down Star Wolf
Okay.
in the
Cool.
game.
Which is super cool.
It is
Yeah.
really cool.
And it makes it almost like, I don't know how you buy this game on another console if you have a Switch.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, at some point during this, you might want to pull up the side by side. I watched the side by side, and I would still do the same purchase, but I can see myself if I ever wanted to trade this in, having completed the Star Fox missions. Look, I'm amazed at how this looks on Switch. It really looks beautiful, but comparing it to side by side with the PlayStation 4 version or an Xbox One version, it's night and day. The water there's more foliage in the world.
Yeah,
Word of the week,
all
foliage.
this stuff.
You would
know.
you would expect it. I mean, but like you said,
But I'm blown away at how
Yeah,
beautiful
and
this
you're
game
like-
is on Switch.
You said
Hands
we
off
were
to
on
it.
the phone, and you said, "Sean, you literally go from space."
Oh God. Yeah. You can just see it
See?
right there. Yeah.
All that detail there.
Yeah.
I mean, look how,
you don't,
but it's
if
beautiful.
you don't know that exists, you don't know you're missing it.
No, I would stop playing the Switch. I just looked at this side by side comparison before I got here.
Yeah.
I would look and just stop the ship and just look
Listeners,
at how beautiful everything is. Look
basically,
at the detail
yeah,
of
like
the
what
water.
we're seeing here, there is a noticeable amount
Yeah.
of additional detail added to this. I don't know if this is the PS4 Pro or if it's just PS4, but it says PS4 and Switch on here, and you can tell not just like little things like the water ripples, but like they just showed them flying over a mountain, and the amount of trees that were on the planet, you could tell was drastically increased on the PS4 version versus the Switch version. So if you're a graphics guy, you may
See,
want to
that might be a tough call for some people because you're like, well, I am a graphics guy, but
I mean, look at that.
But how appealing is Star Fox to this game?
and
I would argue it is. It's
the
very
drop
appealing.
off when you don't know it, or if this is just what you see the whole time.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's more than doable. It looks still really, really good.
I mean, it looks fine. It's kind of like how Red Dead is for PS4 and Xbox. It's not like when you play PS4 Red Dead, you're going to be like, this is a terrible looking game. But it's like, then you go see it on Xbox One X and you're like, oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. I will say the gameplay, it is a cross between No Man's Sky, but it also has the feel, and this is really hard to explain. It might be hard to explain, but it has the feel of a third-person shooter.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Not necessarily, you almost don't realize that you are in a ship. Because after a while, it just, you feel like you're playing just a over the shoulder third-person shooter.
I wonder if it feels a little bit, Sean, you remember when we were playing the Old Republic?
Yeah.
And you do the missions where you were in your spaceship and you would go do fights against people. I wonder if it's like that.
I don't know.
But on, there's like, you're basically Atlas, Battle for Atlas. Atlas is like the solar system. And you have multiple planets, multiple worlds. It's not by any stretch No Man's Sky size.
So is it
But
like,
it's-
it's not random, it's not procedurally generated. It's
No.
like there's a very scripted amount
There's
of
a very
planets to go
scripted
to.
amount of planets. There's a lot to do on the planets, and there's a lot to do while you're in space. And I tell you, going from a planet to space is seamless. It
Okay,
it
so just
happens
like
all at once.
And you're saying that from a Switch playing.
from the Switch. It's all seamless. You can hit the propulsion jets and go
what?
propulsion jets. It's my term.
I heard
it's not
propulsion.
the game.
I
probably did.
heard promotion.
And you just fly off the atmosphere. You burn through the heat shield, and you're out into space.
Okay, cool.
and you can and you can fly around in space. It's not you have what they call it, light speed, but it's like hyper speed or something like that.
Warp drive.
Something like they have that mechanic in the game to get from planet to planet.
That
but
sounds
if you've been to the planet, you can just fast travel there.
Now, okay,
So you like that?
You're saying like it's not as big of a universe, of course, as No Man's Sky
Not even
is,
close.
but
it's a lived-in universe.
So
it's
like
a busy universe.
you have all those planets. Is it kind of like No Man's Sky though, where there's really no, like, we're sure there's a core path, I'm sure, that they're like, hey, go here for the story. But could you just be like, I want to veer left and go to that planet that's over there?
You can
just
get
go
lost.
do that? Okay.
Yeah. Most of the time I've spent lost. And it's, if somebody called this game repetitive, I wouldn't argue with that. It's very repetitive.
Sure.
You go from planet to planet, you mine minerals.
But that's what people like about these games.
You upgrade outposts that help you farm these minerals, help with defenses, help scanning the planet. You do all that stuff, and it is repetitive, but it's so fun. I don't mind how repetitive it is as long as you're doing something that's fun. And Sean flying the R-Wing, as I'm sure, just like flying the other aircrafts, it's like pod racing on a planet. It's just so good.
That's dope.
It is
fun.
so
That's nice.
when you hit the propulsion, and it's got like a bar that drains as you're propulsing,
Yeah.
Pulsing forward.
going fast on the planet, but it lasts a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just traversing the planet is so satisfying.
When you did
It's
this,
so good.
when you did this, did you go, now this is pod racing?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Especially when you're on
Deep cuts.
especially when you're on a desert planet or in terrain that's deserty.
Ish.
You feel like you're on Tatooine and you're just zipping along.
Star Trek.
You scan
Tatooine's not Star Trek.
you scan foliage and fauna.
Hook.
He got me.
Yep. Sorry.
But the basic thing is the main enemy of the game is what's known as the Legion. And they are trying to you versus the Legion. Starlink is kind of the name of your initiative. And basically the main leader of Starlink came up with a way to produce what they call Nova, and Nova is the element in the game that helps with that light speed, getting from system to system. So I mean, that's as
rules the galaxy.
So every planet, you start off with Legion control, and the more outposts you save, the more
Nova
prime things more Nova you farm. You basically have this scale on the side of the screen that measures Legion control versus your control, and as the more things you do, the more that dial goes up. So the goal is for every planet. You don't have to do this, but it's fun to get every planet up to 100% control.
So have you beaten, I guess, the main storyline?
No.
No?
I think I might be close, but
How long have you played?
played a couple hours Sunday, all day yesterday, and 3 or 4 hours today.
Have they talked about, I don't know if you've done any research, have they talked about like just, is it going to be a thing like where every couple weeks they're like, by the way, here's an update and we add these things in? Or is it going to be like, oh, we're releasing DLC and this is the timeline, or what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't. I've checked the news feeds on this game for a while, and they haven't announced any plans going forward. I assume maybe at some point they'll release new ships.
I can't remember.
Hopefully, along with those ships, new content. That would be nice.
When did this came out like the 15th?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like trying to think here.
The week that I was in the swamp is
Fishing.
the week it came out, and I was going to talk
Okay.
about it then.
That's
but-
right. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. And that's why we did the other thing.
Yeah.
that we
Astro
did.
Boy.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Was
We
it
did
Astro
like,
Boy?
I think that's why we did that week.
That game's, by the way, amazing still.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I do know it's hard to tell because these are not just video games. They're a toy line. So it's very difficult to gauge how well this thing is doing because you're not going to really know until Christmas is over and done with.
Yeah. It's like even this month, right? You're thinking like it's coming out in the core of October. We already know what the top 2 games of the month are going to be.
Right.
But then you also think you still got Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
You still got, a couple of other big things like, people are still buying Spider-Man, all that.
And will it be in the top 10? I honestly don't know, because the thing is, you can already tell that Nintendo might have been this game's saving grace, but I don't know if that's enough. And I think 83% of all the copies of the game purchased were purchased on Switch.
Well, that's good.
I mean, is it? I mean,
right? He's saying does it die on the other consoles? And
yeah,
does that mean that
that's
it dies
fair.
in general? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up here.
Maybe it becomes an exclusive title for the Switch going forward. That'd be fine, but
Now,
it's really just hard to tell how much they sold.
keep in mind, this is just the UK. This is the past week for sales as far as from this past weekend. And so as we said, it came out probably around the 13th or something like that. So here we are going less than a month away, and it's not hitting in the top 10 right now. It's not even top 12.
But not all good games end up in the top 10 either.
Yeah.
And neither is Soul Calibur either, which is interesting too.
Yeah.
Because I think those two games came out congruently.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But the Lego Harry Potter collections are re-entry, boys.
Those Lego games are always going to sell well.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Did you know that Red Dead Redemption 2 had the best second week performance of a video game this year?
I have not seen that headline.
Yeah, in UK it did.
UK.
It only dropped 51% from its first week sales. Only 51. Like, that's amazing how that happens with major games. But yeah.
UK and the Western.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if they say anything about the United States.
But this game's deep. For a quote unquote kids game, and like I said, it's a hybrid. You don't just go in. There's every enemy has a level on it.
Dude, we said that about Infinity, how deep it was.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, and I still want to go back and play.
Dude, when I played in Infinity, I played it way different than like Tinley played it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I gotta be honest, seeing this thing in person out of the box and watching the video as you talk and hearing you talk, I gotta buy this game, and
it
looks really dope.
I got this, and I'm glad I ended up getting it this way. I got this because I paid $3 for it.
Yeah.
With trade-ins.
I remember you telling me that.
But had I had the money,
or you mean not have the money?
Maybe I'll trade this back in and get it on Xbox or something.
Xbox One.
That game is beautiful. Look, it's
John,
gorgeous on the Switch.
John,
I'm amazed that they got that running on the Switch the way they did.
It's got 9 billion teraflops
True.
of power running through it on Xbox.
True. But I'm glad.
But if you try to bring it back from a resting state, it's probably going to crash on you.
But I want the physical ships really bad.
I have to say,
and that's the problem.
Like, I've seen all those, for those listeners at home, this completely unbiased opinion here. I remember everyone having those, Disney Infinity toys. Of course, the amiibos that we've seen come out. And this is by far, if you are someone who likes cool collectors of like just kind of interesting geek art or whatever, like even if you're not playing this game, I could see a case to go out there and at least get the Star Fox one.
Because right now, even without the Joy-Cons in it, I was just looking at it. He could put this on a shelf.
Exactly.
And that could be a thing.
Like, when you look at this and you go, I love Star Fox, and I'd like to have something cool and geeky to display from the series, but I don't want to spend $900 on a custom made model of a ship. What'd you say? This is like $25, right? By itself?
You can't. I don't think you can get the
for
the individual ships. There, they run about $24.99.
Yeah. So, round up.
Sure.
We'll just kick it. We'll give them their 1 penny.
That's funny.
But I could definitely see, especially if you are going to get this on Switch, it's, and you're a Star Fox fan, it's like really hard to argue against that. That's not the way to go, just because this is so pretty.
How smart was Miyamoto though? To go, hey, I see what you're doing, and guess what I think would work with that?
Well, it's interesting because the last Star Fox game sort of fell flat on its face.
Because it was at the end of the Wii U cycle, and it tried to
But it tried to utilize technology that probably should not have been utilized for the game. The game probably would have performed better critically had they not forced that motion control and touchpad stuff on the game.
Yeah. That's the thing. If there's been one complaint I have on, especially like 3DS games, they do it. They're probably the most guilty, but you're right. There was a ton of them on Wii U, and there have been a couple at times that it irks me on Switch. Is those gyro controls, because as much as it's cool and it's very intuitive and interactive, there are times where you do just want to be able to sit down and use two, joysticks and not have to worry about the way I'm moving and facing things to play a game. The
Captain Toad on Switch.
Exactly.
It's a credit to how good that game is to how I'm willing to just play it on the handheld.
Agreed.
I would not play it on the screen. That thing infuriated me on the screen.
Let's be honest. The biggest problem for Star Fox on Wii U was that there are only 13 people in history who bought a Wii U.
That's true. That's true.
And if only 4 of them are going to buy the game.
I love that system though.
There was things I liked about it.
Look, when about a year into it, I remember saying to Chris, "Look, man, I'm just going to enjoy the ride."
Yeah.
You pretty much knew. I was like, they'll pull it out, man. They'll pull it out. They did not pull it out.
They kept that bad boy.
It was pregnant, and they're pro Wii life.
So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy I got a hold of this game. It's I knew I would like it kind of from the jump.
Yeah,
because it's really I think they have something here. It's not. I mean, the characters are very interesting and cool. The story's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the system is in depth. I mean, there were times where I was going, okay, I had to stare at the menu screens for a little while going, okay, what happens when I do this? I had to really kind of study how the game works. It's not a kid's game by any stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, Richard wise, I'm somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8.
Okay.
With the caveat that
that's a good Richard.
With the caveat that I'm having an amazing time with this game.
It's like it's not the most in depth or groundbreaking thing, but it's a solid made game.
But like I've said many times, if you leave 7.5s and 8s at the store, you're not playing the best games out there.
You're not playing Mass Effect Andromeda, folks.
And it's a lot. Well, it also has a Mass Effect vibe to it too. Believe it or not.
Careful.
It just has a vibe. There are times when I'm reminded of it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Well, John,
so you're saying I can sex people in this game?
I'd like to tip my virtual hat, as always, to an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Indeed. We may talk about something in the news here in a minute that may indicate that I'm purchasing this game soon. So,
great game for the kids too. This is a family experience by far. Oh, one thing. You can get multiple controllers, multiple ships. You can play co-op. Which has got to be fun. It's not online.
Yeah, we figured that out.
Which is sad because I wish it could be. But,
so sad.
John said he wishes something was online, Chris.
Right.
There's just more freedom and more options.
Listen to this.
That means I could play with you if you bought the game.
Right. Kind of like if you bought Fallout 76.
Exactly.
Yes.
On PlayStation.
Me, you, and Casey could go bomb each other.
On PlayStation.
Casey doesn't have one.
Well, he's out then. And why are you calling me Casey?
You're not.
Oh, by the way, Casey, if you're listening, I finally got Infinity War.
Ooh.
So hit me up.
Oh, damn.
Why'd you put your thumb up to me?
Did you get it on 4K Blu-ray?
No, I got it on, I got it. I bought it on the Xbox store in ultra high def.
Okay. Well, it's the same thing.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
But I got 4K Star Wars Last Jedi.
Okay.
On disc.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
Might just be the way it's
Infinity
mastered.
War was amazing in 4K. Well,
that's good.
Or ultra high def. Is there a difference?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
Okay. Folks, before we move to the news, I'm just going to throw this out there. Spoiler alert. We at this point do not have a topic for next week. So I'm going to do a little plug here. My guys don't know I'm doing this. I just thought this up like 5 seconds ago.
What is happening right now?
we may completely disregard you, but if you have an idea of a topic for next week and you can get it in by close of business Thursday, so Thursday at midnight.
They have 2 days.
Yes, they have till Thursday, so it's only going to be for people to listen to this right away, which of course is everyone. Everyone listens to this at midnight as soon as I publish it. They stay up till 3 a.m. and that's what they do.
Boo.
Write it in to weeklygameschat@gmail.com.
Or DM us on Twitter or Facebook.
Wherever. Yeah, hit us up on any of our 3
That's cool.
areas.
Let's see if it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And if probably about Friday we'll gather and we'll figure out what the heck we're going to do.
I wonder if we know anybody who's playing Soul Calibur.
I'll go play Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur's terrible.
Sean's just got a bias against Soul Calibur.
Because Street Fighter's the better series.
I don't disagree.
I guess it's the longer running series.
Mortal Kombat's better.
No.
There was this era from the late 90s to the early 2000s.
I don't care.
That
Mortal
Soul
Kombat has
Calibur
always been trash. People just didn't know
is
it.
better.
That's probably fair. That's a fair one.
What I just did is named at least 3 things better than that piece of crap.
Watch you buy it this week.
Greatest game ever! This game is
But
amazing!
dude, Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube.
Yeah. You could play
GameCube.
Do you not remember
Link.
What was it? Soul Calibur 4?
Smash.
It was I think it was Soul Calibur 4 where you could play as Darth Vader and freaking Yoda. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
4.
Yeah. That was like the best
Fighting
thing.
games suck other than Smash.
That's because you suck at them.
No, I don't.
Let's go to the tape.
I'm very
Fighting
talented.
games kept me playing games. When
I'm
I
very
didn't wanna
talented.
play
Then why don't
anything
you go
else.
get it and we'll play it?
Because this reverse psychology is not going to work.
Baiting. Let's bait to the news.
Ooh.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
Neighbors are like,
What
almost every
What are they doing?
Tuesday, this thing happens.
Oh! Who led last week, Chris? Was it me or John?
I don't know.
You go this
I
week.
think it was you.
Yeah, you go this week, John. This is a good one to start off too.
Listeners, keep track of that for us.
I'm a little jelly. You ready for this?
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
Amazon
Chris.
Prime.
Julia Roberts is.
Nintendo by the numbers.
Nintendo.
The NES Classic Edition
Uh-huh.
and Super NES Classic Edition retro consoles have sold for a combined 10 million units.
Millions.
In addition, Nintendo has sold approximately 50 million.
The new staff said it sold 50 amiibos.
They've sold 50 amiibos. Let's
See,
get
it's
that
know-
right.
great. This
I've
was
got at
great.
least 30 of them, so.
Yeah,
I was about to say, it's nice to know that between the two of you, you've bought 50 amiibos.
Yeah. Nintendo has sold approximately 50 million amiibo figures. According to recent financial briefing, quote, combined global sales of the NES Classic Edition and the Super NES Classic Edition have now surpassed 10 million units. Both continue to sell as must-have products, and the fact that they are so affordable suggests that they will be in even greater demand this holiday season, end quote. That seemed to be a shot across the bow for the PlayStation Classic.
I've got 2.
They're so affordable.
I've got 2 NES
are.
classics. I've got a Super NES classic. I want another Super NES classic because I want to be able to open each one and have one boxed.
But they're readily available.
Yeah, now they are.
It's not like you're going to be
It
able
doesn't
I
matter.
just-
At some point, they won't be.
I just want to
maybe
say,
so.
we talked about 2 years ago how there was a gold mine sitting there if they would just put the NES Classic and the SNES Classic out in mass production. And,
Yeah,
and
this
it
could have
keeps
been
looking
sitting at
like
20
it.
million
Exactly.
at this point.
Exactly.
Well, bro, and we kind of had the beginning, hindsight look to, oh yeah, they sold out everything. They're in demand. What are they doing?
Yeah.
We kind of had that idea, but we also knew, and everybody knew, guys, if you've got something this cool, put it out because it's top notch and people like it, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm going to get 5 of them.
You won't do it. There,
won't do it.
dude, that's at our local Target and the Walmart where I live as well. They're always there and it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what they are? They're a smash hit for Nintendo.
I like it.
Smash Direct Roll Up. If you missed that, I'm sorry. But yeah, Street Fighter's Ken Masters has been revealed as an Echo Fighter, mirroring Ryu's Smash abilities. He is based on the Street Fighter II Turbo Ken. And Cineroar has been announced as a fighter in Smash. He is the advanced evolution of Litten, who is mainly used for his wrestling moves in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. King K. Rool, Ice Climbers, Isabelle, Pichu, Ken, Young Link, and Daisy have all been announced as amiibo coming in 2019. You like that?
King K. Rule. That's pretty cool.
I'm all over Young Link. That sounded weird.
Yeah, but we already have a Young Link amiibo.
Be.
It's a new one.
It's the Young Link from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I have that one.
You do not.
I do have that one.
No, you don't. You've got the Young Link from
I've got the
Majora's Mask, which is pretty much the Link from Ocarina of Time.
Indeed. Also, a new story mode will be included in Smash, which is cool if you think about that, entitled War of Light. The mode appears to have players traversing an overworld and taking part in fights against fighters to reclaim their essence.
Their essence was stolen.
And
it's like,
technically
it's like
a,
Thanos snapping his finger.
So it's kind of like that Disney Mickey's Epic Quest, right? Like where the ink gets stolen and then like he's got to come back and
kind of mixed with maybe the way Street Fighter 2 had a story.
Yeah.
Where you'd still have to go fight. You were fighting in
Japan.
I don't think
it's the same.
No,
I think you're wrong, and we'll see. There will be 5 sets of DLC priced at $5.99 each, and will include a character, stage, and music track. The season pass will include all 5 releases and will cost $24.99, or as Chris calls it, $25. Every piece of
I did math. That saves you $5 from buying them individually.
Every piece of content will be released by February of 2020.
Okay.
Which means they have a long plan in place for this game.
because people will be playing it a long time.
Still, no love for the Waluigi fans out there. I'm guessing.
Well, I'm
he's gotta
assuming
be
it's
DLC.
a DLC character for sure.
I don't see how that doesn't eventually come.
Yep.
That's cool.
Speaking of movies,
no one talked about that movies.
Super Mario Brothers movie update.
What?
In a profile in Variety magazine, Illumination Animation CEO Chris Meledandri,
I'll give it to you.
just let that marinate, indicated what he feels went wrong in the 1993 live action movie.
He just said
What
everything
didn't go wrong. He believes that the filmmakers did not work closely with Nintendo to follow a vision that the franchise has maintained since the 80s. It is his intention to avoid this mistake by working directly with Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto. Quote, "We are keeping him front and center in the creation of the film. I've rarely seen that happen with any adaptation where the original creative voice is being embraced like we're embracing Miyamoto. The challenge is taking things that are so thin in their original form and finding depth that doesn't compromise what generations of fans love about Mario," end quote. It'd be cool if they did a whole series, a whole universe of films and constantly have Miyamoto in the cameo, like Stan Lee is in the cameo for the Marvel movies.
Then they could have pops.
Yes.
Like the Stan Lee pops. It'd be great.
You would never
kill
say
for a
anything.
Shigeru Miyamoto pop.
Right?
That actually makes sense.
That's a great idea.
It is. And Funko, if you're listening, do that. And also bring Nintendo pops in, please.
Just do it.
John and I will never be able to afford anything else again.
What,
because we buy all of them.
What style of animation would you put in? Would you make him like kind of look like a Mario character or a Zelda character, you think? Deep questions.
Deep thoughts with Chris. Mario, dude.
My head hurts.
Yeah, I would have to say Mario too, just because it would be funny to see him as a like looking like Mario.
Indeed. For all you people going, okay, you've talked about Mario and Smash. What about Zelda? Well, guess what?
Let's keep this Nintendo bias going.
The new Zelda project is out there, and Nintendo appears to be hiring for a new Legend of Zelda project, according to some recent job listings. The listings are for a 3D CG designer and a level designer. Experience working on action games and designing terrain like fields and dungeons. How cool would that be on your resume? Is requested. Nintendo also wants the designer to be capable of working on in-game events, which is very interesting.
Is it?
Right? It is not clear whether this is a console, 3DS, or mobile project.
I would bet if it's coming out now, I'm going to bet it's a 3DS game.
Well, they announced a mobile Zelda project a while back.
Yeah. But it'd be kind of late to be posting something like that now, right?
I suppose.
Yeah.
But
And I'm going off the presumption here of
So presumptuous.
outside of the outside of like Wii, for the most part, you get one Zelda per main console, right? So I'm thinking if whatever the next Zelda is going to be, that's going to whatever the next console for Nintendo is.
But to me, the in-game events is more of a hint of a possible mobile game.
Yeah.
It's like,
Could be.
It's but I do like, pop-ups and surprises like this that Nintendo throws every once in a while.
yeah. Speaking of pop-ups, dang.
Make this news go real quick.
Surprise EA releases could be coming
What?
soon.
Ooh.
It seems that Respawn will have multiple games released by holiday of 2019.
That's next holiday, John.
That's correct.
That's not soon.
Oh, I can taste that.
That's what she said.
These games may include Titanfall 3 because why not? And why not in the holiday? Just do it.
Don't worry about it, Chris. We're just doing a podcast.
Bobbing for bananas.
Sorry.
The games may include Titanfall 3 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Ooh.
In the prepared remarks, EA revealed that there are projects underway across multiple studios, quote, including games from Respawn that are slated to launch by next holiday season.
If I recall, they did in that terrible presser, I thought that's what he said was holiday of 2019, which is why everyone's like, you don't have a trailer. Like, that was the big gripe.
He just had the hat on, right?
Now, dear God help them if they're releasing Titanfall 3 in holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Get that out of there. I don't think that's true. I can't see it, but I definitely see Respawn. Unless it's like Titanfall on mobile. I guess that's always a possibility. Titanfall on Switch, that's a possibility.
Oh, well, who knows?
I'm amazed there's a Titanfall 3.
Hey, I'm amazed that even exists,
Great
right?
game.
Isn't
No,
it?
everybody.
The second one was great.
Yeah. Critics were
Did you play it?
unanimous.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
He played the campaign.
John?
Okay.
You can literally go and listen to me talk about it on this show.
Did we do that?
Yeah. It's
I
okay.
don't remember.
You're old, buddy. It's okay.
Oh my
Because I'm
goodness.
playing along.
That's right. It's a bit. Dude, a bit.
Maybe I just don't like picking on people.
Whatever.
Speaking of bits, we got a little bit of BlizzCon.
Speaking of Blizz bits, BlizzCon roll up.
Ooh.
If you're wondering when is BlizzCon, you missed it. Overwatch gets a new hero and animated short. Ash is a former associate of McCree. Mm-hmm. Can you do a McCree for me, Chris?
It's high noon.
There it is. And has a, quote, lot of tricks up her sleeve, end quote. Warcraft 3 Reforged is a new remaster of the 2002 original.
Yes.
And is coming in 2019. It will include the Frozen Throne expansion.
Yes.
Yeah. Reforged is a, quote, complete reimagining, end quote, and will include 62 missions and over 40 hours of gameplay. This next thing kind of irritated fans. Diablo Immortal is a brand new game on mobile. That was the Diablo news. It features 6 classes as well as new abilities, enemies, and zones. Like I was telling John, I'll say this real quick. Don't count Blizzard out on their plans. There might be something to this. Who knows? Hearthstone gets a new expansion. Yay. Called Rasticon's Rumble.
I read that in my mind as Rootin' Tootin' Rumble, but that's because I've been playing Red Dead.
And it will add 135 new cards, all of which are troll themed.
I thought all the trolling they did was in Diablo fan.
He'll be here all rest of the podcast. Destiny 2 is free for PC players.
Why is that on BlizzCon though?
I
mean, I know it's Activision, but
that's why.
It's nothing to do with Blizzard, right?
Activision Blizzard.
They do nothing with that game.
They are tied together now, Chris, like Hansel and Gretel.
I guess.
That's what I came up with.
I don't see them putting Call of Duty news out at BlizzCon.
It's on the thing.
What?
What's the name of the app? On PC when you're going to play like WoW or something?
Ballad.net.
Yeah. All that's on there.
Yeah.
I'll
save the Diablo talk for the next news thing.
Well, speaking of Diablo.
But hold on.
Sure.
But just first.
Yeah.
Warcraft 3.
Yes.
Is a game when that came out in 2002. I played, I don't know how long. And I know they said afterwards.
Apparently 40 hours.
They said, after the fact that someone asked, I think like today they asked him, do you guys have any plan for Warcraft 4? Jeez, it's so bad in here.
If I smell that, people will know.
That came out hot.
They asked,
you'll smell it.
Yeah, someone asked if they had any plans of working on Warcraft 4 and they said no. So this seems to be the kind of like olive branch to the hardcore that, sure, Warcraft has a huge fan base that, they know it for World of Warcraft, but for us, Warcraft 3 along with StarCraft 2 have always been considered the kind of like the golden played, standard for RTS games. So the fact that they're finally doing this, that's just awesome. I really, really hope it ends up being worth the download because I would love to go back to that world.
Well, it is a complete reimagining, Chris.
The air has cleared, Sean. You're fine.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
But speaking of the other thing that was mentioned in that subject, John.
Yeah, speaking of Diablo, the announcement of Diablo Immortal was met with a, shall we say, negative response from the gaming community. On YouTube, the announcement trailer received, at the time, 85,000 dislikes compared to 3.3 thousand likes.
It's a little higher now.
The gameplay trailer had a similar response. There were reports that many negative comments have been deleted on Reddit. The backlash could also be seen in the audience. One attendee during a Q&A asked if the game's announcement was an out-of-season, this quote, an out-of-season April Fool's joke, end quote. Blizzard responded that it was a fully fledged Diablo experience on mobile. Savage.
Yeah, And here, you know what? Let's just go ahead, Sean, hit this next one too, because this is all together.
Well, to add insult to injury, Kotaku's Jason Schreier originally broke a story that Blizzard had initially planned to reveal a trailer for Diablo 4, which I have to say would have made the place go nuts.
Yes.
But pulled it at the last minute. The story may have been off the mark. Quote, what's in dispute here is the timing. We had originally reported that it was planned for BlizzCon, but it's impossible that those plans were simply discussed and never solidified. We can confirm that Diablo 4 is indeed in development.
And that's from Jason saying
end
that,
quote.
By the way.
Yeah.
Not Blizzard.
Not Blizzard.
No.
At no point did I say Blizzard.
No,
for you people listening.
Yeah. Want to make sure they got it. I remember back at E3 this year, right? During Xbox's press briefing. They come up and like the Gears logo comes out and all of a sudden it's a pop figure of a Gears character and everyone's like, huh? And then afterwards they come and they show that and it looked cool, but everyone's like, this is not what I want right away for Gears. And then they come out and they show, by the way, we're also working on a mobile RTS game for Gears that you can play. And everyone again, or I think it was actually a tactics game.
Like, man,
and everyone's like, okay, that's still not what I want. And if they had left it right there, everyone that was a Gears fan would have been pissed off right there. I guarantee you. But what'd they do? They came back and then said, by the way,
we got
here's your 5 minutes of this thing. And then again, later on that week, Todd Howard comes out and he's talking about Elder Scroll Blades and everyone's like, okay, that's cool, but I don't care about that Elder Scrolls. And, that's cool. You've got Fallout there, but it's still not my Fallout. And then he comes back and at the very last minute drops down and says, by the way, here's the thing you know nothing about yet. And people might have been okay with that. But then he came back and he did what? He dropped the hammer and said, yeah, we're working on the thing you really, really want to. And everyone went insane. When you're doing these kind of large presentation things, I'm sorry, you cannot come and say when there has not been a new Diablo game since 2011, 2012, that your first announcement and the only announcement you're willing to make for a new Diablo title is just a mobile game to the hardcore faithful, because that's who's going to BlizzCon. It ain't John and Sean who enjoy some of, Blizzard's offerings. It's the people that literally they eat, sleep, and breathe Blizzard properties. And if you're telling them that they put Diablo into the prime slot and that's all they're getting, I am not shocked and I do not feel bad for you at all when the mass of the internet comes back with all of its over hyperbole and, aggression and all that. Cause it should be a wake up call to you. Like, yeah, you know what? Think about how you present these things to people and ask if it's the right thing to do. Because
but if you remember,
not,
they tried
this
to-
is what happens.
They tried to temper the expectations, and we reported on that. And they
Yeah.
were kind of like, "You guys think Diablo 4 is coming out? How about you not think that? Because you know, in their mind now, we know we got a mobile game for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oof. But hey, it could turn out and be the greatest mobile game of all time.
It kind of, to me, it just,
And you could be playing it on your
yeah.
10XR.
it looks fine. But it doesn't look anything great. And and a lot of people have said it looks like the studio they partnered with, they have another game out. That's a kind of Diablo-esque game. And a lot of people have said it looks a little bit like you could tell they've reskinned parts of that game to make this work on phones, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a market for it, right? I'm sure that they've done their analysis and there's going to be people who go out and buy this thing. But it definitely, for the hardcore, those who are faithful to the series, I understand why they're pissed and they have a right to be pissed.
Do they?
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? I mean, you give.
That's the question. Why?
Yeah, because you give all your time and attention to the studio, you support them, you buy their expansions, and you do this, and then, like you're saying,
Key race alert.
Isn't it more?
And more importantly, those people who go to that event, you spend money to go to that event, and you've been tempted there. Say you're not a Warcraft guy and you haven't gone the last couple of years. Now you're being told Diablo was given the prime spot for this thing, and that's what they came for. That's what you spent your $1,000 weekend on.
You could have just got a
for
virtual
that.
ticket for
Exactly.
not $1,000.
Exactly. That's why I would be pissed too. I'm not speaking to every single person in the corner of the internet, but for those people who went and paid money and that's why they went, I would be pissed too.
So you're talking for those selective group of people, the
Yes.
people who paid for a ticket to
Yes.
go.
They have the most. I mean, still,
So I have the right to pay for a ticket to the World Series and demand that my team win the game.
No.
If they don't win the game, I want my money back.
But you have a right to pay for a World Series ticket and get the World Series game.
Apples and oranges, John.
Yeah.
You pay for a BlizzCon ticket and you get BlizzCon the event.
Sure. And if
And
you're
it might
told,
be apples and oranges, Sean, but they're both fruit.
Yeah. And you're told, I guess what I would say is you're told
Okay.
that that's the primary thing.
Let me give
you know.
my insight into it. I'm often a defender of gamers
Sure.
and how they respond. This was a response that as a gamer, I'm ashamed of.
Mm.
You were told, the gaming community was told Diablo 4 is not coming to BlizzCon.
Sure.
They were told this mobile game is probably a gateway to making the product they love bigger, better, and reaching a more expansive audience. That is a good thing. You should celebrate the fact that this game is going to be at people's fingertips all over the world. You think they expanded their base with consoles? Wait for this.
I hope so.
Because
Look,
John, you know what?
I don't know if it's good.
You know what every
It could
household
be a
has?
dud.
A phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Not every household has a PC
Not
or an
every what?
Xbox or an. What? Wait. Whoa. What?
Mother.
Whoa. What did how did that come out like that?
I
Okay,
don't
got it.
understand.
2720.
I don't understand why you waste your time hitting a down like and trolling on
Because
on
that's how
Reddit.
you let people
When you try
know.
to figure why people do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not with Chris. Not once can I defend this mentality because Blizzard did nothing wrong. They didn't promise you anything.
And like
in
I
fact,
said, they came out and said they tempered it.
announcing Diablo 4, given the span of how long it takes for these games to come out, would have been too early.
Now,
You had
John-
no reason to expect it. And if there's any developer that's earned the right to announce it when they're good and ready, it's Blizzard.
I agree with that. You didn't buy into the pre-BlizzCon hype and watch the
Yeah.
hours of content that they put into you delivering what's going to be at BlizzCon this year. They hyped those people up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to be
and what did
very-
they
Diablo
say?
was the theme and they said it.
Multiple Diablo projects are in the works.
yeah. So you
that's
showed
what
one.
they said.
You showed one, and it was a mobile game.
Yeah.
That's kind of more the big thing here. It wasn't like, by the way, there's an expansion coming out for Diablo 3, another one, or anything like that.
Would have made it better?
Yeah.
Maybe it would have helped. I mean, it definitely, I think my point here is more so it's like, look, you can't be shocked at people's reactions. And
Sure you can.
And you can't, I mean, yeah, you can, but it should tell you maybe you missed the mark and you should learn from it. Like,
How does being honest ever miss the mark?
Well, I
What
mean,
did you?
I'm
what,
saying,
what should they have done? I mean,
what they should have done is if they weren't going to show Diablo 4,
not
right?
showing up.
They should have not let it wait till about 2 weeks out to finally start to try to temper expectations back. If they come out and said,
They didn't have to temper anything.
But
the game's media hyped this up.
Let's try
not
the
them.
event.
They never
BlizzCon is an
said.
event
so they took
to
the free hype.
up.
They took free hype for 2-3 months, and then 2 weeks before said, by the way, you should probably temper your expectations back.
You guys are victim blaming. It's
No,
remarkable.
BlizzCon is literally a convention about everything hype that Blizzard's doing.
How much-
the whole thing is hype.
Should I max your excitement?
I
right
mean,
now?
let's put it this way. If you're looking at the trend of how that con has gone, right? The game that has
you're a
gone,
poet and you don't know it.
when you look at how that con has gone, is been basically you come out, they do a sizzle reel, right? And then they have whatever their keynote game is. And if you look at the last couple of years, it's like last year for Warcraft fans, it was rolling out the new expansion. They did a 20-minute expansion. If you're a Warcraft fan, that's everything you ever wanted. You know, the last 2 years before that, it's been primarily Overwatch. And, you know, hyping up the game, the reveal of the game. Now here's the gameplay reveal of it. And now finally, you know, here's all of our support for going past release. And now you come to Diablo. It's kind of like the equivalent. Sean's laughing at names. Now it's like kind of the equivalent of, I think of like something like if you're a Star Fox fan or like a Metroid fan and you see Mario get its moment in the sun. You see Zelda get its moment in the sun, right? And then you go, and by the way, here's this little thing that we're making that's not even that serious for the thing you want, right? It would be that kind of thing. And the difference here again is, like I said, people are paying to go to this and they're saying, I support this company for years so they can make hundreds of millions of dollars
And
per
I'm
year.
entitled to your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to you.
You're entitled to tell them when you think they messed up. And that's what I would say. Like Blizzard, for the most part, they do right. And they're not a terrible company. They're not someone who, you know, plays on its fans. But I think here, and we saw this a little bit before with other things when they've tried to bring the mobile property and build it up as a mainstay. You know, we saw it at EA this year when they brought out Counter-Strike and everyone laughed them off the stage for putting that on there. I'm not surprised when the hardcore at a hardcore event comes back and says, you dropped the ball.
If I was Blizzard, I would not be fazed by this and I would not apologize for this.
Sure.
This is mob mentality and it's disgusting.
I wouldn't say
it's
mob.
Absolutely disgusting.
I mean, my big thing though
because I'm a Blizzard fan and I've been loyal to Blizzard, whatever the heck that means.
You give them money.
If I don't get did I go on Reddit like I ever would? Did I go vitriolic when they announced Metroid Prime
Other M?
No.
Or
the
Metroid
handheld,
Prime 4?
The handheld game.
Oh.
We were expecting a Metroid Prime game or some sort of Metroid console game, and what did we get? We got this Metroid Federation Force.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, come on, guys.
I guess it's just...
You are not entitled to anything. And
yeah, we are.
And Blizzard did not sell you short. They didn't tell you this was coming. They never said it was coming. You projected onto it. And that's what this response is. It's nothing but projection.
Again.
A bunch of whiny, irritable, basement dweller,
but they got a
Dorito-eating
bunch of attention.
Gamers.
I feel like I'm
Polygon right
I feel
now.
like
scolding gamers.
I feel like, first of all, you've got Doritos and you eat them too, you fat bastard. Second, you didn't watch the pre-hype videos. And third, I got no third, so that's it.
That's a good one.
I just think
that's a good point.
Look, if they want to, if fans, and I don't know what will happen, if fans, if you don't like this,
all
if
of
you
these
think,
fans who look, you've talked for 15 minutes total. All of these fans who dislike this thing are going to buy it on mobile. So let's just put that out there.
I would
This
say
is fake outrage.
if you don't want to have people make things like this, if this is what you think is a bad thing for the properties you love, then yeah, there's a simple answer. Don't go buy it. I probably won't buy this. I have no desire to play Diablo on my phone. Why? Because I'd rather have a mouse or else at least a controller. That's me
mouse
personally.
A playable character?
It's this.
And it's not fake. It's 85,000 dislikes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I just don't see.
I don't know what you said.
I just don't think, look, I love Blizzard. That's the thing here. I understand the outrage. Like, as a Diablo fan, I understand the outrage. And it just sucks. And, look, I know they'll eventually put out Diablo 4. It will probably be solid, and I will play it. And I won't hold it against them that they put this out there. But at least for now, yeah, guess what? You put out something that was a mobile game at a major event, and that's all you put out. And people said, nah, we aren't impressed. And they deserve to be able to say that.
That's like saying it's your fault you left your door unlocked.
Yeah, pretty much what we're saying to them.
That's crap.
It's on you.
Let's talk about the second biggest game.
Let's talk about the other side of Activision that everyone loves.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's on you.
Wait a minute. You read that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so you read the Call of Duty.
That means it's my turn.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry.
what we were trying to say.
Dyslexic. Call of Duty microtransactions.
You said duty.
A series of microtransactions have been added to Black Ops 4, and fans are upset.
I'm not upset.
Many on Reddit are seen voicing their complaints about the cosmetic items that have been placed under paywall. This added to a $60 game with a $50 season pass gives reason for the anger, as fans have indicated that you would have to pay $200 to get all of the in-game cosmetic items.
You don't have to get all of them.
That's true.
It's set up
That's
just
true.
like Fortnite. I play both games.
Is
But
it?
Fortnite's free to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I don't care. You
Doesn't
don't
have
have to buy it.
expansions.
You don't have to buy them. They're there.
Yeah.
Where in Fortnite, you had to buy the thing to start unlocking things, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to if you're in the gameplay.
In this one, you don't have to either. You just start unlocking things. The things that cost money are way different than the other things that you can get for free.
I think the bigger reason.
So you still get stuff.
I think the bigger reason that they're saying here, though, is that it's basically enticing you to spend $110 for this. And this is the kind of same thing that, even though it's not cosmetic in NBA 2K, that they get hit up on too. And there's a point to be made to it. But there's an easy solution. If you don't want to see them do this, then don't pay them money.
The heck with it, man. I give up. Let's just cut microtransactions and then unionize game developers.
Yeah, let's do it.
No.
Watch your prices
Y'all are
go up.
hack. Y'all
They're
aren't
going
even
up
playing this
anyways.
game. Y'all don't even know. You don't even know, man.
Yeah, I'm not acting like that. I'm just more of I understand where outrage is coming. Because
Of course you do.
It's the same reason why
Battlefront
got tons of it last year.
It's not.
Don't you think they should have at least, I don't know, thrown in a good number of cosmetic items
There
into
are.
the season pass?
Yes.
Or
and
Destiny.
It's free. There are so many cool things you get just by playing the game.
Yeah, but what if there's
And the ones you can buy, there's only 2 you can buy every 2 days.
but
that's
those
it.
skins,
I will
are they
say-
obtainable in the game?
I will say though,
No.
with
See,
60,
that's what the complaint is.
Well, there are other cool things you can get just by playing the game.
with 60, 50, and 200, that still doesn't touch the full cost of Starlink Battle for Atlas.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I understand it. And the thing is, it's
You're in
like,
an understanding mood
well, the
today.
thing is it's weird because we think of things like Warcraft and no one talks about it or complains about it, like that they're things that you can only buy from the shop.
Right.
But of course, they're things that have been inundated for years.
Yeah,
and
if it's
therefore-
there and you expect it.
yeah, you're just like, well, that's just part of the thing. Whereas here, it's like Call of Duty fans have never had to pay for a cosmetic item, and now you're being told,
Is
oh,
that
yeah,
true? You've never had to pay for a cosmetic item in Duck Hollow?
They've just recently started having them.
Yeah, so now you're saying like, oh, I got to pay $50 for the season pass. And now if I want all these items, I got to give you theoretically up to $200. That's why all of a sudden these people haven't had to spend that. What happens? They
Guess
get
what? You
upset.
still don't have to spend it.
That's true.
You don't have to buy
Sure.
the season pass. So that's a fake number out there. Sure, if you want to play the game, you have to either have traded in games or you had to drop the 60 to play it. And then you never got to buy another thing and your experience never changes because it's cosmetic. So what is the fake outrage?
Money, greed. It's not like,
Potential money that you might spend that you're mad about that it's going to cost more than
I think
you want it to.
Does
to be
PUBG
fair, it
have
goes-
skins?
Yes.
yeah,
You earn them you earn
everything there though is through the store. You can earn it all.
after you buy the
Yeah.
game.
Well, you can earn it all.
Well, yeah, you
can earn-
Fortnite has a free thing that you can unlock stuff from.
you can earn all this in game as well. I believe.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
takes you.
Except
Well, that's
for,
the one that-
and not the special delivery cosmetic items that are super nice looking.
None of this matters because at the end of the year, Call of Duty would be the best selling game.
That's right, because it's awesome.
That's right.
Only dropped 51%. Red Dead second week. That's the best of the year. AAA games. Finally this week.
Is it me or you?
Serious?
It's man.
Are you serious?
I'm waning.
Finally
Why?
this
That
week.
Diablo argument took it out of me.
There you go.
It wasn't an argument. It was a kerfuffle.
You know what else was not a kerfuffle or something? Website pays up for Red Dead Leak.
It was a kerfuffle.
It was definitely a kerfuffle. Trusted Reviews, a consumer electronics website, has recently issued an apology to Take-Two Interactive and subsequently paid £1 million in charity to the American Indian College Fund, the American Prairie Reserve, and the First Nations Development Institute.
Penny's really sad about
The
it.
leaked information included details on the upcoming Red Dead Online. Through the article, though the article has been replaced by the apology, it's unclear if the document obtained and leaked was acquired legally or illegally.
I have to say that's a good way to do it, right? If you're going to sell this, it's just look, we don't want money from you. Give it to, primarily Native Americans and things like that. That's
I have
cool.
questions about this. My assumption.
Yeah, it's 4%.
Yeah, you're going to start hitting Atlanta, Columbus, and all those.
Yeah, all that comes later.
The pain comes later. But I'm curious. I'm assuming with the £1 million thing.
Sure.
That maybe Take-Two, sorry, not Take-Two, but Trusted Reviews is a British, English-based.
Well, Rockstar is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Rockstar is a British company.
I'm sitting here reading this, and I'm probably thinking of things that nobody's thinking about. That's not a brag, it's a curse. Would IGN, an American-based news organization, or would they be subject to being punished for doing something like that?
I guess
the fact that it's kind of like they're being punished for this is odd to me, which is almost like, is this in England where maybe the rules are a little bit different with you leaking classified documents? Because I know news organizations in this country would leak classified documents in a heartbeat and never suffer consequences.
It depends on how you,
unless you're WikiLeaks.
It depends on how you come by your information.
True.
With something like this. So
but
here,
does it
as
in the
they said,
States?
for instance, if they had someone illegally hack in and take information from their website and servers and all that, and then, or say they knew someone from Rockstar and they went into their bag and pulled out a map or whatever and scanned it, then yeah, you're breaking the law. You're not allowed to do that. On the other hand,
but
if
the
someone
people who report it, are they liable for it?
Now, on the other hand,
That's the
yes,
point.
if they're the ones who are acquiring the information, or if they know the information was particularly stolen, right? On the other hand,
That's why they like no-name sources.
yeah, on the other hand, if someone just gives you that information that works there, then no, you're not liable. It's kind of like when you, for instance, someone from the government leaks to the press. The person who leaked the classified information, they're the ones who would be, their a hole would
Subject
be
to legal.
Yes,
but that's my point.
Yeah. On the other hand, so in this case, a lot of times what happens with these leaks, for instance, you see something come up on Reddit and then IGN reports on it. IGN at that point isn't reporting on something that they illegally stole, right? Or they took it. They're reporting it as a secondhand source to say this is out on Reddit. The people who put it up on Reddit, if they get caught, they're screwed, right? Especially if they're the ones who came by it from illegal means. So that's kind of more so what it's about with this. But I will say this, I think it's just cool that they sell this and it doesn't look that.
No, I don't want to get distracted from the point. Yes, that is very cool, but
yeah,
because I don't know a lot of journalist organizations that do this type of stuff.
Yeah.
That say, we shouldn't have done that. Sorry. Because in our media, and I thought in British media, it's a race to see who gets the headline.
Yeah.
Consequences be damned.
I don't know where Trusted Reviews is.
Yeah.
So
the
that
£1
could be
million
nervous.
thing kind of threw me off.
Yeah. Like I said, I would think that's probably just because they settled in a British court.
I do know they're featured on Metacritic.
Yes, they are. But yeah, you guys want to wrap this up?
Never.
Okay, this week, never. Emails.
We've only got one this week.
One?
Yeah, only one.
We don't need to say that.
Well, there can be only one.
Well, I mean, they're going to figure it out. I got faith in them. If you want to write in your thoughts and opinions, you can do so by writing into weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Just a reminder, if you want to write those thoughts and opinions in by Thursday night, you could potentially give us an idea of what the heck to talk about next week as we wait for 2 more games to come out. Jordan wrote in this week. Say hi, guys, to Jordan.
Well, you got to say it first.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Jordan.
Hello, Jordan.
Just got done with your podcast. That's as long as Red Dead. That's funny. But I loved it. It makes the drive to work that much better.
Where do you work?
Right? So I played the first Red Dead and liked it, not loved it. So I chose not to get Red Dead 2 till I heard your podcast. I have to say, I truly loved this game, but the first hour was slow. That almost lost me. I think it's a lot
slow
of
it
people.
almost lost me, Chris.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because I played the first one and felt as if it was teaching me all the basics I already knew from the first one. But now that Chris has over 150 hours on the game, is there anything you would change in this game?
You have 150 hours on this thing?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Jeez.
No. I'm sure I have like 70 to 80 at this point.
That's a lot of hours, Chris.
I like it. But before I get to the rest of the email, I would say my biggest gripes in it, one, I don't really love the crafting system that much just because it's like go way out here to get this one thing and drag it all the way back to your camp, which may be on the other side of the map.
You could do a pop-up camp.
Yeah, but no, you have to take those back to Pearson.
I know.
Yeah, so you can't. And because it's a carcass, it has like a certain shelf life before it will go bad. So you're kind of like, you got to drop everything you're doing and just focus on that. The other thing I would say, I mean, when you're indoors, the game definitely, to me, doesn't shine in terms of movement. That's probably, like, I understand it's slow and methodical, but then when you're in a building, it can be irritating at times going around, but that's about it.
That second one really bothers me if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's the one thing of like normal gameplay I just do not enjoy, but seeing as like that's one bad thing out of like 9 billion things it does right, that I'm willing to overlook it. He says, sorry, it's been a long time since I wrote in Go Cats.
Been a while.
Oh,
and it's okay.
Kentucky
it's
Wildcats.
Okay. Thanks for writing in now, Jordan.
Oh, and sorry, John, but I hope the Bulldogs go down this week.
Ooh, sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, sorry, Jordan. Game
against Auburn, I guess is.
He wrote this before the game.
Yeah.
Game on, everybody.
Game on, Jordan.
Plus, I figured I'd send you my favorite post about Red Dead. He sent us in a picture here, and it says, it's from the tweeters, and it says, you can't collect all 150 horses in Red Dead Redemption unless you trade with someone who has blue Dead Redemption. I see what he did there.
That's political, John.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Red and blue. Get it?
Yeah.
I was going to go.
108
I don't think it was political. I want to say that's a Pokemon reference right there. Red and blue.
That is a Pokemon
It could be,
reference.
but it also could be, the other thing.
So
You're
I've logged 108 hours in Assassin's Creed Origins.
Congrats.
That's a lot of hours.
That is a lot of hours.
Let me just check before we get to the Twitters, Facebook. I don't think
on the graphic. That is very good.
Yeah, that's very pretty this week. I was like, wow, I have no need to make something that pretty. I was like, I don't know how that happened because I really didn't do much. And the only comments I got on Facebook this week when I posted that we were doing this episode, as I said earlier, someone said, no Hitman 2 thumbs down.
That's not episodic, is it?
I said, blame John because you should always just blame John. And he says, I will. Though I just realized it probably comes out next week anyways. And I said, we may get to it at some point, but I don't know when. Smiley face. Sean, we're on the Twitterverse, aren't we?
Yeah, we are at Weekly Games Chat.
What did they say there?
At Midcard Brewer was replying to us, And I believe it had to do with when you put out what we talked about, which was Red Dead 2 last week.
Ooh.
And Midcard Brewer said that was a game that I refused to pre-order until last week when Chris and Sean, thanks for putting my name in there, dude, hyped it up some more. It put me over the edge, and I too got the digital version so I could play immediately at 9 p.m. # game on. Game on, sir. So let me get it right there. Y'all know I got to click some buttons, and I got fat thumbs.
They're known as sausage
Also,
paws.
also replying to that same tweet, at J Englehart 87. He says that his wife and kids are going to need to learn their place. This game takes priority. But in all seriousness, great podcast. Thank you so much. Which I did say that's awesome, and they should know their places, basically. Mm-hmm. When it came to Red Dead, I posted a tweet that showed.
Oh yeah, I saw
Martin
that.
and Will.
Are they back? Are they making another one? Is that official?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it was.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith put an
That'd be
Instagram video
cool.
out about the Bad Boys are back, and in that video it said it's been a long time coming, but now it's here.
Is it Michael Bay?
At Bad Boys for
Oh,
Life.
wait. I don't know if my.
So I said we ride together, we die together.
Yeah.
And then at Ty Jetson said Bad Boys for Life, baby. We had a few more people reply to that same thing. So I'll get to those. Oh, yeah, there it was. At Midcard Brewer again. He was active this week.
Ooh.
I said a couple years back he had Ride Along, if you remember that movie on TV, and his wife said they made a third one, which he replied, boo.
Did they?
He still loves her. No.
Oh,
The wife was thinking Ride Along was Bad Boys 3.
that's funny.
Yeah. Let's see if this is the one.
So wait, I want to know in that comparison where she thought about that, which one did she think was Will Smith and which one did she think was Martin Lawrence?
Don't know.
I guess she thinks Ice Cube is Will Smith, and it's got to
Possibly.
be Martin Lawrence as Kevin. Kevin Hart,
Yeah,
right?
it's got to be.
There's no way Will Smith.
Or
can
maybe
be.
she was trolling him, and that whole thing is now extra funny.
That is funny.
If you remember too, we had some people last week ask us about our end song, which we tried to tell people what it was, and we had at Brandon_Shin was listening to the podcast, and someone wrote in about what song that was. So this is it if you hadn't found it, and he's got a link to it. Again, it was Adventures by Him Itsu, and that was a no copyrighted
There you
music
go.
thing. So a lot of people like that. So if you guys know who Darude is, he had a hit song. He's a DJ, and the song was called Sandstorm.
yeah, I don't know.
Darude's a little, he's awesome. That when that song comes on, you immediately know it. I believe South Carolina Gamecocks use it as their opening. I can't remember,
I can't say that.
but yeah, I don't know that.
I'm not checking in the old Muschamp.
But basically, at Big Riff, just left the best wedding ever. Walked back the spot that he was staying at. He might have smoked a little something, and on the back deck, he could hear them cue up Sandstorm, and he missed his California. So I said, it makes me want to drop some at Darude Devil or Darude Evil. It's kind of cool how he did his name, which is the real Darude. At my next gig, all the days when #Sandstorm would start, because that intro was pretty epic. Well, lo and behold, Darude likes our tweet, which is kind of a big deal because he's kind of famous.
Ooh.
Big Riff says it's a heavy closer for sure. People always go ape S, which is funny. And then I believe there's a follow up in the direct message because he lost his mind when Darude liked that tweet, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
We got some more. You can talk.
Educate me on Twitter. What happens? What is the benefit of someone famous like that liking a tweet? What happens? Anything?
Anybody that follows them could
Sees
see
it.
that
Sees
Weekly
it.
Games Chat said something that he liked.
I'm old.
There was a girl this weekend who's now like Twitter famous because, you've probably seen it, John. Towards the end of the LSU game, the like camera comes down from high and she's just like giving this blanket stare at the camera. Like she's so pissed off. And over the past week, she's had like 50 tweets like liked and mentioned of her, from people saying, "Hey, it's all right. Good for you." And she's having the time of her Twitter life.
At Tyrannotortoise,
Still a great name.
let us know that he spotted a rare SNES Mini in his local shop. He very nearly made the purchase, but just started Red Dead 2 and didn't think it had the spare time it deserved. And it's cool because it's the I believe that's the overseas version where the controller has the green, purple, yellow, and
the
red
European
buttons.
one.
He could have picked that up, which is apparently
nice
rare over
SNES.
there. And
Looks
Chris,
like the Famicom.
yeah, it does. I think they did that on purpose.
They
He
did.
should have. If it's still there, man, pick it up.
For sure.
At Midcard Brewer again, said at Weekly Games Chat, apparently there's a limit to how many mediums of story telling can exist. Get them, John. And there's it's a Bill Maher, Rise of the Tomb Raider gets plot explained by Bill Maher.
That would be good.
And there's a video on YouTube, which is funny.
Man.
I did watch it, it was good stuff. We had some direct messages. Let me make sure. Yeah, like I mentioned, at Big Rip said in a direct message, Darube liked our tweets. Holy S. Ha 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 ha. I said, right, holy S.
Ha 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 ha.
And ha 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 ha. And then at Big Rip said, is that an endorsement to change the intro music this week? Ha 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 ha. And I said, dude, right? That would have been cool. Our friend, El Piso Mojado.
El Diablo.
Remember, he was the one I said that his girlfriend was having a baby.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. He said, thanks for the advice and the shout out on the latest podcast. My name is pronounced El Piso Mojado. You were so close. It means the wet floor in Spanish.
Aw.
Which is dope. The only other question is I noticed you have no advertisers or breaks or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we continue to support the show? T-shirts, bags, tattoos?
You can send a check to me.
I don't remember.
I'll give you the PayPal.
I did send that. I did talk about Nat the Gooner and his Krispy Kreme donuts last week. So that was cool. We did have a couple of follows, which is always good. At Magic Num Burla. He's a doyer on the never-ending conquest to break par, which is, I think, a golf reference, John.
Yes,
thank you
correct.
for the following you back.
That's correct. Yes.
At Christo638-48680. Thank you for the following you back.
So nice. That's nice being followed.
That is nice. At Caleb's _ Walker. Thank you for the following you back. And finally, at Willcraft RPG. Thank you for the following you back. And they are, I don't know what that is. Willcraft Heroes online MMORPG, free to play, tactical turn-based PvP with epic battles and prizes to win. I'm in. Thank you so much for the following you back. I like that, that art you got on your Twitter page too. So yeah. Just like Chris is about to tell you, if you'd like to be in this conversation that is amazingly awesome and insightful and fun, you can find us where, Chris, on Twitter again?
At Weekly Game Chat. I farted.
Yeah, you did.
This has been episode 178 of Weekly Game Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever podcast service you use, and you'll get a new episode just like this one every Wednesday. Hey, and if you write into weeklygamechat@gmail.com or either on Facebook or Twitter, both at Weekly Games Chat, you can let us know by Thursday night at midnight what you think we should maybe talk about next week. If you're there when you subscribe to us and they got a rating system, give us a high review. It helps people find the show. If you don't like the show, subtract 1, divide it in half, and then do what, Sean?
Double it.
And that's the official score of hatred.
We've got over 100 reviews now on our iTunes. All good.
Centennial.
One review said, "We talk too much during the opening."
That's so true. That's so true.
And then there's a lot of people who don't review that like to talk because it feels like they're part of the hangout. Do I need those people to write in?
Yeah, please.
That say they like the intro?
Please, yeah. If you want us to cut the intro.
Because he gave us a 4.
Well, he took one away and
doubled it.
And all
Yeah,
that
he
stuff.
hates us.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
Who is that guy? Let's send him.
But he listened to us. He said, if you hate us, give us a 4.
there you go.
He did.
Until next time.
Yeah.
I'll simply say game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
I'll simply say it's good to see both of you this week.
Oh.
And game on.
Let's argue about Diablo next week.
I don't like when he does that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
That just means you don't like me.
You worry about that too much, John.
I think so.
Yeah, I like you, John.
Anyways.
Am I on the list still?
It's a ranking. It's not a list. And we don't talk about that on a podcast. Game on, John.
He ranks his friends. Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life.